Hey up, everybody! You're listening to Sexy Toilet. It's 8 o'clock GMT, and time for a fucking new episode. Me, Professor
Yes,
No Fun.
yes, we're back,
We're back.
back and
Can't-
white.
Yeah, they can't stop us, man. We spent the whole week in a retirement home pretending to be old people trying to get a pension, but now we're back.
Yeah,
So,
I got a colostomy, which wasn't
I know,
didn't
man.
help.
You had to beg. You're like, oh man.
I'm not paying for it.
Well, you were so tired of having to do all the chores of going to the toilet by yourself. You wanted a nice warm colostomy bag fitted to you.
I like saves time, time and effort. I've got things to do. I'm
Ah,
on the
it's a good
move.
point.
I'm on the move.
For the man on the colostomy bag 3000.
I need to sling my shit over a fence. I haven't got time for standing still.
I once slammed some shit over a fence.
What?
It was at a music festival. It was just one of those things that you did. You know why you never saw a toilet on Star Trek?
No. Did they transport the shit out of them?
I'm pretty sure they transport the shit out of them. Yeah, I think that's what the transporter technology is. Because you never see a toilet on Star Trek, man.
No. I mean, I've always thought of it as a thing because it really pisses me off going to the toilet. I really piss. Even though we are a sexy toilet, I don't like going to toilets.
No, man, you've always had that anxiety that your leavings are going to come back somehow. They'll want revenge.
Well, no, it's more
back
like
in.
it's the bridge from being in you to out of you. Don't like it.
You don't like it.
No. It's that in between bit when you're walking out of the toilet, you're like got something done there, but when you're on the toilet, you're like, oh god, this is so boring, and it doesn't feel very nice. I don't agree with it.
I thought the modern man with his smartphone the toilet was his domain. With his shit smeared fingers rubbing his own smartphone over the touchscreen sensitive technology fucking phone screen. I thought this is what people did nowadays. Just sat around shitting and being on the internet on their phones.
Apparently they are. Apparently they sat there until their legs fall off. I can't say that I've done that myself.
Well, it's why Amazon invented that slanting toilet that you can't sit on for more than 5 minutes without getting horrible cramps.
They also invented Irish fire boots as well. And thumb screws.
Yep. They invented the Iron Maiden. Amazon, not a lot of people know, was started. It was started in 1472.
It was long before the books. Long before the books.
Originally, they just sold scrolls and various witch finding technology.
Most of their employees were put to trial.
It's true. Many were.
They carry on that tradition.
Yep. Of course, they renamed themselves the Catholic Church, but now they're Amazon again.
Silly Amazon. They didn't even have an Amazon then. Where did they get the word from?
From the original meaning of Amazons, sexy fighting women.
Sexy fighting women and book warehousing.
Yep. Was it like an ironic joke from Jeff Bezos to name it Amazon because it was just full of dead trees?
I don't know. Is it because they've completely raped the natural resources?
Is it because if you go to Amazon unprepared you go to the Amazon rainforest or you go to work at Amazon, but in both cases you'll probably die of dehydration.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Now, what I'd like to do, just at the top of the podcast here, Rob,
what's that?
is just repeat the word gun over and over for a few minutes. Would you like to join?
I'll join you.
Please do.
I do like the word gun.
Yeah, gun.
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 Yeah. Gun.
Gunny gun.
Yeah. Gun.
Ooh, a gun. that got too fun.
I know, man. It was Well, it's a good way to get out of a bank robbery is to act sexually excited by the gun.
I
When a
was
man
going to
comes
say,
in waving it, because they usually keep it under a jacket or in their pocket or something because they're gun shy. But you say to them, "Oh, will you get it out for me? Can I see your gun?
let me see you.
Oh, it's quite a big gun, isn't it?" Like, and that usually it unsettles them slightly and gives you time to hit the silent alarm.
It's usually not a big gun, but you say it anyway.
I don't know. It's usually an average size gun, but you got to make them feel good about themselves through lies.
And you touch the handle.
Oh, if it goes off, does it get hot? All right. Gun.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to call my autobiography. Just gun. I've never seen or handled a gun in my life, but
Gunned
I
in
just
the
like.
mouth. Fun
Do you
gunner.
remember the 1996 remake of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang with LL Cool J?
What?
The 1996 remake of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, where Cactus Potts, who was played by Dick Van Dyke in the original, was played by LL Cool J.
I wasn't much for these remakes. They were a bit much.
Hmm.
It was like
I don't know, man.
It was like the remake of The Exorcist.
Oh yeah.
There was no rapping in the original.
Yeah, but they'd cast fucking Ice Cube and Ice-T in it, both playing priests, so they had to have them rap, didn't they? They were doing that priest rap battle at the beginning.
I mean, the kind of the possessed girl was a community centre.
Yeah, and they had to save her from the demon, which in this case was like a crooked property developer
And local government.
Exactly.
It didn't make any sense to me. It wasn't even called The Exorcist.
No. And there was that crooked FBI agent instead of a demon. Like, there were some classic films in the late 90s, early 2000s. There was that whole versus genre of films, wasn't there?
Everything was about crossovers, yes.
Yeah. There was Aliens versus Predator, Aliens versus Superman, like Predator versus Mrs. Doubtfire. That was my favourite.
That was the best one.
Yeah.
So she was in the kitchen and she's put the cake on her face. Well, it's a man in it.
Yeah.
It's Robin Williams. He's
It's
probably on cocaine. Puts the cake on his face. Who's there? Fucking Predator. Clicking in the corner. Kind of nodding his head, saying, "You'll never get away with it."
Yeah, well, the best thing was that using that recorded laugh from Predator 1. Just whenever Robin Williams made a joke, it was,
Hello! Ooh, dearie! I can track down things. Me. Indigenous man.
People say transgenderism has come about due to some kind of decay of our society or moral values. But I think it was mainly to do with being the generation that watched Mrs. Doubtfire as young people.
I was going to say, like...
We were just taught that...
I'm a little older than you. Just a little. And
he's 48 years old, audience.
When I watched Doubtfire, yes, I did go, maybe I want to be a 65-year-old nanny.
Yeah.
Maybe I am that. And you
Robin
look in the
Williams
mirror and you put on your granny wig and your bodysuit and your fake tits.
Tim Curry helps.
And
it was Tim Curry playing the makeup artist in that, wasn't it?
No. It was just
it looked like Tim Curry.
Just some effeminate man.
I'm disappointed.
I tried it. It didn't work. I wasn't trans Doubtfire.
No, you were in no way a Scottish nanny trapped in a hairy cocaine addict's body.
I was going to say, like, everyone knows, like, these modern transsexuals, they try to look like Mrs. Doubtfire, but they often get it wrong. I mean, the tits need to be pendulous, not pert.
Yep. Exactly.
And you've got to have a Scottish accent, not an American accent.
Not a good Scottish accent, though. not anyone that from Scotland that would identify as a Scottish accent.
It's got to be really culturally inappropriate.
Exactly. Something that, if it was, the same level of a person doing a Jamaican accent, would be considered deeply racist.
And they would say "mon" over and over again.
They'd say "mon" and pass things to the left-hand side, and I don't know, Haile Selassie a lot.
And have dreadlocks.
Yeah.
But audibly.
Like, dreadlocks are one of the loudest hairstyles. Only the mohawk is got a louder ambient noise, but it's mostly infrasound, so only elephants and various woodlice can hear it.
I'll never respect mohawks until I can see a hole in one.
It's a good point, Birdie.
Because I always think of a mohawk like sheet metal. Yeah. I want a hole in it.
Exactly. Like,
it's inefficient. It's inefficient.
Yeah, See, I demanded the hole actually be cut in the hair rather than the hair shaped around a hole shape. Like the hair being shaped around a hole shape.
You misunderstand me. I mean, it's actually cut out and the top bit's kind of floating.
Yeah.
Not shaped around it, no. Cut.
Well, it's like when you had that haircut where your hair was floating about 4 feet above your head.
That was very expensive. You need extra stuff for that, really.
Yeah.
And you need to plan your day.
It only lasts for about 3 weeks before your hair starts to just lower back to the scalp again. And you have to go back to the salon, and it was like 21 quid a time at Supercuts. Like,
it wasn't really worth it, to be honest. I mean, you couldn't go anywhere.
So one thing that mainly shocked me about adulthood is how much haircuts cost. As a boy, I'd go to the red and white barbers in Sunderland and get a haircut for £5.
I still...
Yeah.
Wait, I don't get my haircut anymore.
Well, yeah, because you're hairless, like a dolphin or hairless ape.
Well, how else am I supposed to speed through the water?
Like, have rough, frictiony skin like a shark.
Nah, they've got that's the opposite. That's meant to cut through water. If I had shark skin, I'd be winning.
Well, you did have those shark skin underwear.
It was into trousers smoothly. I need to get into these trousers very quickly.
You can whip those trousers up and down like nobody's business. Like, it was faster than the human eye.
1 sec, I was just standing there, and then the trousers are crumpled against the wall vertically.
Yeah, you just took a vertical leap out of your own trousers. It was amazing.
Trouser-shaped hole on the wall.
Yeah, just jumping across a canal, leaving your trousers at one end. It's an impressive thing that you can do to try and impress a girl.
You know there is a world record for fastest putting on your trousers.
Is there?
Yeah.
There's
variations of it as well, like how fast you can put on a pair of trousers and a shirt. I think the world record's 4 seconds.
I reckon I could put on a pair of trousers and a shirt. I mean, if I was given time to practice. But there's another thing about adulthood that surprised me: how little practicing for world records has
it's declined in the world.
Yeah.
I mean,
because
I did it when I was a kid.
Exactly.
And all adults did it in a garage, probably with a lion.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people had lions in garages.
Or attempted to jump over 2 Nissan Micras like 2 scoops from Gladiators.
He was a religious man.
He was, but religion gave
that was relevant
power jumping power.
He liked 2 scoops of ice cream. That is a very, very pathetic nickname. It's like being called plain toast.
It's like being called vanilla flavour, please.
Bachelor's super noodles.
Alan One Spoon. You remember Alan One Spoon, don't you?
He's only got 1 fucking spoon.
I'll eat with his spoon, mate. Alan One Spoon. He was a TV classic.
90s celebrities, they just said one thing over and over again, and I didn't really understand it. It's just like, I'm alive. Every 10 minutes.
Well, Michael Barrymore's, it was sinister, wasn't it? Because he'd always say on that show where he had to call in and there was a bunch of telephones. Oh no, that was Phil Schofield's show. Michael Barrymore's show was when he sexually assaulted family members. Yeah. Anyway,
and drown people.
But he'd always say that one day, like his catchphrase was, "One day a man's going to be found dead in my pool from anal trauma."
And filled with cocaine.
Yeah, filled with cocaine and MDMA. And we all thought at the time that was just a funny catchphrase that he did. He was like, "Oh, that Michael Barrymore is a cheeky chappy, isn't he?" Like,
he's from London. He likes to grab people way too much.
He's a Cockney funny guy.
I love it when people grab members of the public in an aggressive yet sexual manner.
Mm-hmm.
Man or woman, no matter the age.
But I've met people who've literally met Michael Barrymore, apparently, in real life. Like, tiny. Like, infinitesimally sized.
I always thought he was tall.
No, he literally drives around in one of them Matchbox cars. Like, he says, gets out of it and says, "Can't buy many of these anymore. It's fucking die cast, mate."
You won't get far in that.
I know. Like, there's no engine. I don't know how he drives it, because
you'd have to fill it up every 5 minutes just because of the size.
Exactly. I don't think an internal combustion engine is meant to work on those kind of scales. You know.
I was going to say, like a couple of drops of petrol will be gone in a second.
Mm.
Unless he's got somebody in the back with like a dropper or something, like putting it in.
I've always wanted a small diesel engine for my phone, though.
I think it'd be more energy.
Charging your phone's annoying, having to find a plug and anything. If I just had to carry like 2 litres of diesel around with me, I could fill up my phone with diesel, and that's my phone charge for the week.
I mean, they could do that with loads of things. I mean, you don't have to. You can do whenever you want. Like crank up your laptop.
Yeah. Exactly. Stick some diesel in it.
Put a nice
going down the zoo.
The
elephants aren't doing much. You just pour out some diesel for them.
Turn up.
They're having a fun times.
Turn up to Starbucks. Grab your laptop on. Crank up your fucking Jenny on the back end of it. Everyone's winning.
You can huff some fumes as well.
And probably have people leave, and that would make it better. Then you've got the whole place to yourself.
I don't want it to be loud like a ship's engine or a HGV.
I think there's a market for this. I think we could get like engine-based technology.
Engine technology.
They're always trying to make things smaller, but they're not trying to make things better.
Yeah. The technology of the past, today, engines.
Yes. Like phones run out of power. Chuck an engine on it.
No one knows what electricity is or how it works.
It doesn't exist.
It's the ghost of an engine somewhere.
It's just engines trying to figure it out.
Exactly.
And they get it wrong. And that's why we need to bring them back.
Mm. Yeah, but as I was saying, you can, if you give an elephant diesel, makes it much, much faster. They're all having a fun time there, squirting diesel on each other with their trunks.
It's like windmills.
Yeah.
Them ones in the sea. You fucking chuck a diesel engine on that, you'll be fucking up that sky as fast as you could fucking believe. Instead of just waiting for them to cut the sky up a bit, like
instead of waiting for it's a common misconception that they're powered by sky. It's actually they wait until a bunch of birds land on one of the fins, one of the propeller bits. And it's the weight of the birds that starts it turning. And then just more birds land on it.
And then
that's why they kill millions of birds every year.
Chops up the sky for everyone else. Because you don't want it too dense. You want it chopped up a bit.
No, and it also gives you a cool strobing light effect at sunrise and sunset.
Exactly, no one wants one big cloud. You want it chopped up a bit. Look at the sun.
It's like an awesome disco party, yeah. If there was just one big cloud that all the world had to share, there'd be wars, wouldn't there?
Exactly. And why not?
I know that over Nairobi now.
You could probably chop it up fine enough that it's a blue sky.
Well, if you chop it up fine enough, it just becomes fog, doesn't it?
Ah, that's a good point.
It just falls to the ground because it loses its cloud stickiness, and it's just fog.
Well, like bite-sized clouds, then.
Yeah.
Chuck an engine on it. Governments, you're not listening.
Well, you know, I know they mostly make clouds in the power plants and stuff. But of course, they've decentralized that now, getting everyone to make clouds of their own with vapes.
I was gonna say, like they always, like these vapey guys. He goes, "I'm making the clouds. I'm making clouds.
I make it rain." Except I don't. I just cause the basic meteorological conditions for it.
I am condensation."
Water. It's a mystery, isn't it?
What's that all about? Wet shit.
It's like soft land, isn't it?
Well, if you run at it hard enough, you can run across it.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Like Jesus proved that.
Nah, he was just sarcastic. Like genuinely, like.
Yeah.
You read that bit and it's like.
Yeah, no.
Because he doesn't say, I was spying on him as he was having a bit of a waltz over that wet shite.
No one literally saw him walk over the Sea of Galilee.
No, he just goes, how'd you go across there? And he's like, I fucking walked across, didn't I?
Yeah, shite fucking Peter, who is called Simon. I walked, didn't I? Yeah, shite orc.
Fucking shite orc.
That shite orc appears a lot in the Bible. It's one of these phrases that comes from the Bible that like salt of the earth.
It was taken out of the King James translation. That's why.
Yeah.
Because shite orc. They're kind of prudish types.
Yeah.
The Stuarts.
I was a conservative Christian family, so we always said piss falcon instead of shite orc.
We never said either, really. We always went with the kind of the third one, which was just rubbish dog, which is really shit.
But Rubbish Dog was that claymation cartoon on CITV. That was great. That
I do remember a man in a bin as a cartoon. I don't know what that was.
Rubbish dog, friendly rubbish dog, don't eat wires.
Die remember from chocolate.
When Rubbish Dog was trying to shit that plastic bag.
It's like when someone says it's like when they fart and they say Trump. It's fucking cringy. Fucking cringy. I mean, I haven't said it for years.
And I say waft now because, as an older man with my looser arsehole, that's mainly the sound my farts make. It's a sort of soft kind of waft noise.
Or a
yeah, like a disappointed sigh that my life's not exactly turned out to plan.
Oh god, that'd be horrible if it did though. Just say and you grunted at the same time.
I don't know, what if it was like a sarcastic 90s teenager and it was like
or if it did the Jim Carrey most annoying noise in the world.
Oh no, that'd be an impressive skill if you could do that.
Out your arse.
Yeah.
Oh fuck me, I would love that. I would.
You'd already have more talent than the other guy from Dumb and Dumber, who wasn't Jim Carrey.
He did shit a lot though, and when I was a kid, that was brilliant. I used to put that on repeat.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Of course, they never made a second Dumb and Dumber film because that man was shot by a helicopter.
I wish he was being shot by a helicopter. Have you seen the second one?
No, man. I firmly believe that the blonde guy from Dumb and Dumber was shot by a police sniper from a helicopter in a high-speed chase in 2004.
Well,
I've chosen to believe that because the second Dumb and Dumber film doesn't exist and isn't real.
Right. Okay, then we're going to go with it's not real.
No. You can believe it's true, but I'm firmly in denial about this.
It's not really that I want to believe. It's more that I've seen it.
Well, I've seen lots of things that people claim that don't exist. You know, like Like that blimp that follows me around.
That's
That
not a
insulting.
that's not a blimp, Adam. That's a balloon, and you carry it
Well, like, why is it got such racist stuff written on it then? If I'm
because
carrying
you
it
wrote
around,
it on the fucking thing.
but like what? Like, well, why would I write racist stuff on a balloon
Why would
and
you
then
buy it in a giant fucking cylinder of what is helium?
yeah, and
Why
then
would you do it?
walk through central London on a Friday night just looking for trouble? I'm telling you, it's a government blimp designed to discredit me.
Even though you bought everything for it, and the
Well,
government told you to pack it in.
well, yeah, that's what they would say, isn't it?
If they did
That's
it
the
on
first
purpose.
that's the first step of plausible denial.
Walk around central London. You don't even live there.
I know. I've not even been since I was 13. But like, my ability to astrally project, and by astrally project I mean get on a train,
Turn
is
up, turn
yeah,
up and cause bloody trouble.
yeah.
As usual.
Uh,
Silly Adam.
I like superpowers when they're just technological powers that everyone has. So my favorite superhero, Gunman. He's a man with a gun.
There is a gunman. He's played by Will
Yeah.
Smith.
There's also Punishment Man. He just shoots people with guns.
There's Iron Man, who is made of
Yeah.
iron. And Superman, who's made of being above other people.
Yeah. He's made of Nietzschean concepts.
And Batman,
Yeah.
who's three different things at once.
Like Batman can hit a ball really, really far
And
because he's a bat.
and geolocate small insects using
Yep.
sonic and sonar.
Yeah. It's weird how his costume means his arms are attached to his legs, though.
It's no wonder.
Like, it really limits his mobility.
Wouldn't be able
As
to
a
run
crime, but
properly.
no, he just has to go on like his elbows and knees and just like crawl forward. Bit like that.
Another thing you miss out, the many hours devouring fruits or insects.
Yeah. Sometimes biting cattle and simply licking the blood because he's got an anticoagulant agent in his saliva.
That's what happens when your parents are shot at the opera.
It's true.
You're able
Like,
to have anticoagulant saliva.
well, when my foster parents were shot at a ballet, like I got the same thing as Komodo dragon, where my mouth's full of bacteria that just produces botulism toxin.
That fucking reminds me. Don't you fucking bite me.
Like, I'm sorry, it was funny last time, but like, you didn't need all of your toes.
I had to find other toes. Do you know how hard it is to find toes? Not that hard.
No, they're on Amazon, mate.
All you need
Human toes.
All you need, pair of garden snippers.
Yep.
Bit of a sewing kit, done.
£6 a dozen.
They just pop off.
I don't know why they don't sell them in nice round decimal numbers though. They always sell them in dozens. Indicates to me that like
get the other two.
Yeah.
That's what I get. And which one are the two? Which are the weird ones? Which are the odd ones out?
Because you try and line them up in order of size like your normal toes are. But there's always two that are exactly the same size. When you're ordering a set of toes from Amazon.
I did have two little toes once. It was a bit more obvious then. You never get a big toe.
I ordered some Chinese eyelids off Amazon, but you can't buy them anymore. It's like blackface.
But what if you want Chinese eyelids?
I know, man. Like the Chinese people, they're just dying to get rid of them. They're just trying to sell them because they want to stay awake all the time. Because sleep's against the rules in China.
That does make sense. They do. To be fair, they're not really going to use them. I mean, they're a nice snack.
Yep.
There's money to be made.
What I had to do is just get stripped down to my underwear and just cover myself in eyelids. Like, take pictures for Snapchat and stuff.
I don't know how they allow that.
No.
Especially, I mean, especially since it's kind of changed meaning.
Mm.
I mean, you can't do blackface or vent a blackface.
No.
Or transparent face.
Can't even dress as a ghost anymore to scare black people.
I mean, it was all... We love dressing up as ghosts. It's fun. It's part of our culture.
It's a foundation stone of our culture to dress as a particular kind of pointy-hatted ghost.
And scare people all night.
Yeah,
with our flaming bits of wood.
Flaming T's. Lowercase T's.
Lowercase T's. Or uppercase T's.
Yeah.
On occasion, an X.
Sometimes.
Spooky ghosts. Ooh.
Why did the Americans think that black people were more afraid of ghosts than they were?
I don't know.
It's one of these unusual aspects of racism, isn't it?
Well, one of the things it doesn't
a rumor got about is, you know what they are though. You know what their weakness is? That they're really afraid of ghosts. Like they have no other weakness.
But this is where they got it wrong, and this is why it doesn't work. Ghosts aren't actually that pointy.
It's true.
They are pretty much 100% Victorian kids or women.
Or bicycles sometimes.
Ghost bicycles, ghost carriages.
Yep.
Ghost farthing, Ben.
Yeah. I once had an entire ghost quarry.
I had a very delicious...
I'd opened the airing cupboard and there was a fucking ghost quarry in there.
I had an aspic jelly that was a ghost.
Oh, yeah. Fucking hell, man.
Ghost fish in there. I don't like fish, but it was ghost.
Yeah. No, I mean, you get it sometimes where you open a can of sardines or whatever, sardines on toast, and maybe 3 or 4 of the sardines aren't real sardines, they're just ghost sardines. But they've been packed because the machine that does the packing at the factory can't tell the difference. It doesn't have an ontology filter of what's real and what's not real.
I was going to say, that's where they need the people. And it was probably... Because most of the time when it happens, it's just human error, to be fair.
Yeah. It's just some guy sitting there reading the paper at the machine.
He's not checking if there's ghosts.
No. It's his job, but you can't do that for 8 hours a day, looking every tin of sardines for ghosts.
And how long it takes to get a fucking priest round?
I know, man.
He sees one, the conveyor belt is shut for 20 minutes. That's fucking money.
It's all money, and the priests, they're a racket. They charge, was it 200,000 per exorcism now for a factory? When you get subsidised rates when you're at home.
It's since they took them out of the union, that's why.
Mm.
When they unionised the priests. Well, when the priests were part of the fucking union, they fell in line.
Yeah. But
they do the fucking job. You didn't have to fucking... it wasn't overly expensive. I mean, no one wants to spend 200 grand on getting rid of a few sardine ghosts.
It's the priest training colleges that we're really paying for. Because the priests have to go in, they get into about 500 grand worth of debt to be a priest, and then they got to justify it by charging these ridiculous prices.
That's their problem. They should go into...
I know.
I mean, they're not... The service isn't that good.
Remember then when the Daily Mail was furious at everyone going to university to become priests? Remember they had that whole thing with, oh no, these people doing degrees in godology.
Why don't they do fucking... Why don't they get a trade?
Aye. Why aren't you learning to bang bits of wood together instead?
Why don't you do science instead of your crazy fucking priest bothering?
Because me and you were both at seminary, of course, because it was the style at the time.
Well, it was the only way to get a degree, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I tried to change.
Be a priest or work with sheet metal.
Yep. Those are the 2 ways out the ghetto. And you best hope that you've got real talent for working sheet metal. And you're at least 6
walked in there by accident. I wasn't born in the ghetto. I just walked in and it was just like...
No, they didn't let you out, did they?
Sheet metal or priesthood.
Yep.
It's either that or live in the ghetto
Yep.
with Elvis.
I saw the sign that said ghetto on it, and of course back then I couldn't read, so because I'd been born in the ghetto. I thought it said gatto, and gatto is delicious.
See, I thought it said get on. I thought it was for the bus, for the
Ah, yeah.
shuttle bus, yeah.
Mm.
And I'd wandered in, and then it was just like, sorry, mate, sort yourself out. I mean, it took me a couple of days to figure it out, especially because sheet metal is far more ethical than being a priest.
It is, yeah. Like sheet metal workers, rarely found abusing children.
I've never seen a single piece of sheet metal abuse a child.
Exactly.
I've never seen a priest do it either, to be honest, because that'd be a bit horrible.
No.
But you know what I mean.
I've never seen a priest do it directly. I've only heard the audio from outside the confession box. But no.
I'm harrowed
I've never
by
seen
that.
a piece of sheet metal do it. But Jeffrey Epstein, he was apparently made mostly out of corrugated iron. But that was a cosmetic procedure he had done.
It's so when it rained, it made a really loud noise.
Yeah, he said, I want to look like the roof of like a breeze block built outhouse, please.
I want it when it rains. I want my face to be as loud as thunder.
I want to sound like a Jamaican tin band.
Steel drums, what are they?
Steel drums, that's what they're called, mate.
I hate steel drums. They don't sound good on anything.
I think they sound brilliant.
Well, apart from
Name your favourite steel drum song. That's the one that
goes. I mean, somehow on kids' TV when we were younger, there was always an explanation on how steel drums were made. Like you cared.
Oh yeah,
you cared.
I've seen at least 2 or 3 videos on how to make a steel drum. I think I could probably have a go at it now.
I'm thinking about it. Steel drum making. Get a barrel. Shitty barrel. Off you go.
But
you can sound like
sure
a Caribbean nonsense.
Because the only metal barrels I've ever really come across in my life are them ones that use for draft beer in pubs.
Oh, the big cask ones.
Yeah, whereas steel drums are usually made from oil drums. Yeah, I've never been to an oil exporting country like Trinidad.
No.
So I've never seen.
I mean, they don't work. They don't work. I mean, the only time I've ever seen steel drums used to effect was the entire soundtrack to Commando.
Oh yeah, well that's a steel drum classic. What's his name? That Greek composer who did Blade Runner. It was his first major breakthrough role. Vangelis, that's the fella.
Yeah.
When I was reading on IMDb a bit of the production history of that, and when he came in and said, "Listen, mate, the soundtrack to Commando is going to be all steel drums and bagpipes," and they thought he was mad. It was the greatest piece of sound design that I've ever heard. All steel drums, all bagpipes.
I'm not a fan, to be honest. Not a fan. Don't like steel drums. Love John Matrix. Don't like Bennett.
I was disappointed that John Matrix never actually appeared in the Matrix trilogy.
It is annoying. I want to know how he got that name. I
always assumed that the Matrix trilogy was simply the backstory to how Keanu Reeves became Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
So in the future, in 1984.
Yeah. A heavily made-up general lands in a helicopter. His daughter feeds him a sandwich, and he asks what's in it, and she says you don't want to know.
And then he sees helicopters.
Yeah, and then some kind of highly, what would be the appropriate word here? Not effeminate, because you don't want an effeminate general. Flamboyant, highly flamboyant general lands. Thick makeup.
Very, very thick makeup. You'd probably take him. You'd take him home to the parents. That sort of general. Yeah,
really, really classy looking. It wasn't caked on like a French whore.
His trousers were leg length. not up above his knees.
No. And like his general coat it's a little low cut. He was showing a little bit of cleavage, but it wasn't all out there to see. You know, he was being classy with it.
He's a classy general.
It was a suggestion of the sexual power of being a general, but like not all out there, not mutton dressed as lamb.
And he looked like he's out to have a nice time, but not a good time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he wasn't a good time general. He wasn't that sort of general, because you see them sometimes.
You could picture him in a floral dress.
In the big market in Newcastle, you sometimes see like the US Joint Chiefs of Staff, and they're all there. You know, they say it's a hen do or something like that, but I think that's just an excuse to dress in them Playboy bunny outfits, and it's over the top. It's not even sexy. It's a literal meat.
Well, this is what happens when you you're outside of most of society. Marginalised. There's not many of you. I mean,
it's true. Like
generals, everybody grows up a general.
No, I think only like 1 in 50,000 live births are generals.
I mean, I don't know a general. Do you?
No.
Must be tough.
Well, it's a bit of a sad story, but my niece, she got pregnant, and she was only 19. And the lad ran off, of course. But she found out that it was a general, and she had it aborted. And I think that was unfair. Like, a general deserves as much a chance of life as anyone else, but turns out...
Well, this is the thing, right? They're all they're so fucking negative, but then when you need a general, fucking moron.
Yeah.
They want... No fucking problem.
Yeah.
But when they come down the high street, caked up in makeup...
No.
Then you're all fuck off, general.
Pissed up on Lambrini, fighting again. Colin Powell.
It is a bit annoying.
Yeah.
It's a bit annoying.
But it's because they're so loud, isn't it? Giving orders.
It's because they all play up to the stereotype.
Yeah.
Stereotype loud general.
Like, you know, I accept that some people, you know, are part of a military hierarchy. I just don't want them to shove it down my throats, is all.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it is on TV more than it used to be.
I think that's one of the things that I think people are getting influenced by it. I think it's cool to be a general now. Like, everyone's got pictures of Mad Dog Mathis up on the walls.
You want to be part of the military economy.
Yeah. But if you're not born that way, you can't be a general.
I was going to say, it's not like... Get an OnlyFans. It's cheaper.
I've been watching this Liberian colonel on OnlyFans. He just goes around, like, he gives orders, gets people marching up and down. It's really... Well, I mean, it's hot. I really like it. It gets me. It's like Medusa. I only have to look at it and I get as hard as a rock. Yeah.
I can't say I'm happy about it, but I don't want to see that shit. That's fucking disgusting. I don't want to see that at all. You can do it on their own. Do it in their own home, yeah, but not in front of me.
If you're a Patreon subscriber, you let you watch you plan a coup with some other colonels.
Sure up.
Plan a coup d'etat.
Sure up.
It's dirty. It's dirty. It's not what colonel should be doing.
I don't.
But it's I don't know why it appeals to me so much.
You fucking dirty. You fucking dirty bastard.
I love it. These bad boy generals are planning to get rid of constitutional government. You've rang chat lines like that, haven't you?
No. No. I mean, yes, I've thought about indiscriminately killing young people for oil.
Yep.
But it's never gone over into general territory.
It's like those chat lines, you know, these dirty police officers are taking bribes from Mexican cartels. Listen in. I got into serious credit card debt with that. Like, these firemen, They're actually making a deal with the local arsonist. Dirty, dirty fireman.
Crooked.
Mhm.
See, being crooked's not that bad. I don't mind the crook element. It's just the
Yeah.
generals don't like it.
Nah.
It's
I think
it's absolutely fucking disgusting. Like I said, do it on do it behind closed doors.
yeah.
Have your military parades.
Mm.
Put on your medals.
But no one wants to see you marching through town in your your military pride parade. Oh, we've just won a war. It's
Screaming
disgusting.
at people
Yeah.
in an indecipherable language, and they just turn left and right and put a gun on their shoulder.
I know, man. It's.
Get a job.
I saw the British Army wheelchair display team at an air show the other day. It was brilliant.
It's mad out
Like it
there
was
with
all the
them
fellows
again.
who'd been injured by IEDs, and didn't have any legs or testicles left, but they'd arranged them into a beautiful display team. So they'd start up, and they all had smoke coming out the back,
Yeah.
like red, white, and blue. Of course, it's very patriotic. And there was
Sure.
9 of them. So they started off in a big V formation, and then they made the shape of Concorde, and then like 2 of them split off. They were going towards each other really fast, and I was like, "Oh no, they're going to crash into each other!" But I swerved at the last minute. It was brilliant. One of the best displays I've ever seen. British Army wheelchair display team.
And
You
the
can watch it.
trebuchet display team.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the medieval part of the army that they never, they just didn't get the funding to update it. Like they wrote that letter to Queen Victoria in 1821, saying, "Please, can we have some cannons? We're already like 300 years out of date with these trebuchets." But she was like, "No, it's tradition."
We're still using swords.
Yeah. Like there was a regiment of the British Army entirely armed with like rough clubs that they just pulled off trees, basically just tree branches.
And they wonder why they get fucking
Hmm?
bad shit in the press
They
for
were
fucking
deployed in
budget cuts.
Afghanistan. Yeah,
Keep it fucking sending out legions of roughs with
yep,
bare skin like clothes and
yep,
a dagger. No
yeah.
wonder they get shot. But then
I,
you've got to think we wouldn't have a wheelchair display team if that wasn't the
no,
case.
it wouldn't, and I think that's worth the cost of the war alone. I think that was worth around $2 trillion,
It was
and
worth it.
200,000 Afghan lives.
Well, that's on them really. Doesn't really.
Mm.
We didn't pay for them. They just
Mm.
died out as a result of
Yeah,
the war.
yeah. The money we spent didn't go directly towards killing them. Like there wasn't an individual price for every Afghan life, because like it would have been good value for money. 2 trillion for 200,000. That's what like
It's fucking,
like a million
fucking
a life,
awful
isn't it?
money, that is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like you have someone.
give me an hammer and a fucking half of that. I'd do you in an hour.
Exactly.
Give me an hammer,
Well,
couple of
well,
days.
with these new crowdsourcing murder apps, you can have someone offed by like an Indian fella for like 50 quid, because to him
Nah,
that's
fuck
like
that. I'm
a
doing that
year's
myself.
wages.
I'm not fucking paying someone else.
Nah,
50 quid is a lot of money for one. You've got 200,000 get through.
good point. Like,
Maybe 2 hammers. I might get my brother in on it as well.
aye.
He needs the money.
Remember when you murdered that guy just with a hacksaw? That was class.
I just wanted
Like,
to see what happened.
well, it's how you got him to stay still for that long.
Well,
Is that it?
I lied to him. That's what I did.
Yeah, that's the usual way. He said, "Hey, watch this magic trick."
I said, I'm not going to cut your arms and limbs off. And he was like, oh, right.
Yeah,
Kept perfectly still. I was like,
it was just
I was over him with the saw, and I was like, wait. He was like, oh, you fucking joker. Ooh, I'm not going to do it really. And then I did it.
no, but like it's that how he stood there when you were already quite away through his arm and getting to the bone, and he said, "This is feeling a bit uncomfortable now. I'm feeling a bit, I'm feeling like you're invading me personal space a little, rubbing me,
How the
rubbing
what?
me arm bones with your
Yeah, but
hacksaw blade.
this is the thing, right? This is
Yeah.
how I got him right. Because all I said was, "Have you ever watched a fucking magic trick that ends in the middle?" No.
No. Yeah. Shut up. You're heckling me. You're putting me off.
Fucking knob. Got a job, do. It's a
Yeah.
trick that you have
Mm.
limbs, but you don't.
You know, Louis C.K. Yeah, he got cancelled for whacking off in plant pots in front of women.
Why plant pots? It's a
I
bit
don't know.
disgusting.
I
Like
think that's
piss in
what.
a plant, piss in a plant pot, but wanking into it.
Mm. He said that the plants wanted his nutrients. That he was the baby daddy of this plant's offspring.
These seeds are my seed.
Mm. Well, I thought it was more controversial that it was just that he shot hecklers. Anyone who heckled at his gigs, he just shoots you.
Well,
Like
the main
typical
thing with
American stand-up.
that is because handguns aren't allowed in New York, but he's
Oh yeah,
allowed.
yeah. It's one rule for ordinary people like you and me, and another rule for perverted stand-up comedians. Like Joe Rogan just threw fucking grenades at people when he was doing stand-up. That was his main joke. Here's a grenade.
But he was on DMT,
Yeah.
as he always is. He's permanently on it. That's why he talks like he does and looks like a gorilla,
Yeah.
a very small gorilla.
He is tiny, isn't he? He's 4'11" tall. It's amazing.
The thing with Joe Rogan is like
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson, like
Yeah.
Mr. Benzos.
Mm.
He's like you're like an alpha male and all this, and I was just thinking, oh my god, he's not. He's the fucking midget at school that got a couple of quid behind him. You know what I mean?
He's one of the guys who he'd like encourage you to do something disgusting for a laugh. He'd say, "Oh, lick the underside of the table. Go on, it'd be funny. I'll give you 50p." And he'd be like, "No, Joe Rogan, that's not funny."
Well, this
But
is
then he'd get like the slightly tapped kid to do it.
because his dad had given him a
And-
fiver a day, and
Yeah.
he could afford to pay this.
Mm.
He could
Yeah,
afford
his
to
parents
pay
were
for it.
rich, man.
And then
He got
turned it into a show.
He got like 25 quid a week in allowance. And all he spent it on was paying like slightly tapped, slightly, it's not a nice word, but retarded kids to lick the underside of tables or to chew gum that had just been left somewhere.
But he did get worse. That was the thing.
Yeah.
And that's how he got the job. Because then he's like, "Here, eat these bollocks."
Yep.
And they're like, "I don't
Yeah.
know." And he's like, "I'll give you the whole fiver." And he fucking did. He fucking ate the bollocks.
Yep.
The dirty bollocks.
That's when he got that guy Stephen to have sex with Mohammed bin Salman, who later became the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia.
How he got it through the fucking border, I don't know.
Yeah. And Stephen, he had an IQ of about 85, something like that. He should have really been in a special school. I mean, he was a nice lad, lovely lad, but he severe dyslexia. He wasn't too quick, and he didn't realize that he thought he was Joe Rogan's mate, but Joe Rogan was just exploiting him, just using him for, just using him to have sex with Middle Eastern dictators.
It's funny.
Yeah, it was good.
It is funny.
So yeah.
Oh dear.
So when I'm watching Joe Rogan now, all I can think of is that I remember when Joe Rogan was 14, and when he used to pimp out retarded boys from my all boys Catholic school to Qatari crown princes. That's how Man City got bought out eventually.
That's why they bought Man City.
Yeah, all kinds of like slightly special young lads go to Man City, and that's their favourite thing in the Middle East. Like the more mentally incompetent the person you have sex with is, the greater the amount of power that you derive from it. Like, it's fucked up because normal people in the Middle East aren't like that. It's only the royalty.
And maybe that's the point.
Yeah. Maybe that's the lesson.
be a crown prince, and you can fuck retards too.
Mm. So what do you reckon of Elon Musk, like with his direct neural interfaces? Because he wants to share a picture of his penis with everyone in the world in their mind.
I don't know. I mean, Elon Musk, he's just like a really, really shit supervillain.
He is. Well, like, his family owned an emerald mine, that's how he got his start. But, like, I heard that like, the mine had to shut down because some kind of really fast hedgehog came.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Yeah, some kind of really fast hedgehog came to his emerald mine. And, like, he was doing the South African thing at the time. He was like, putting robotic suits of armor on animals.
Yeah.
And making them mine his emeralds.
That is very South African.
Yeah, like, that's... I mean, it's the reason why we get so many good, nature documentaries out of Africa, because they have so many animals that are vital industrial equipment, basically.
Well, they've got that film Chappie and District 9, and they're all robot
Mm-hmm.
animals.
Chappie in
something
District
like that. I didn't really watch them.
No, Chappie. It's revealed like about 90 minutes into the film. A bunch of squirrels, like 4 squirrels.
That makes more sense. I didn't finish the film. You see, I probably would if I knew that.
Yeah, Elysium, where they've got that big space station where like they've got a machine that just cures any disease. Yeah,
filled with
little rabbits, mate.
Filled
rabbits
with rabbits
in tinfoil.
Bloody Elon Musk. I mean,
he's so fat and round too, but his arms are really thin and his legs are really thin.
And his mustache is enormous.
And
he rides around in this kind of ball car.
Yeah. Like when you criticize him on Twitter, you've got to like jump over that giant swinging pendulum thing he's got and hit his ball car, because if he hits you with his giant pendulum, you lose all your bitcoins.
Oh. Well, I've heard, this is one thing I've heard, I don't know if it's real.
Yeah.
But if you want to have a meeting with him, you've got to go through a maze.
For real?
For real. The
only
person who's never done it for.
Change perspective too. So like, usually you're viewing, because usually when you're around Elon Musk, you start to view yourself from like a 2D angle from the side.
Like a third person.
Whereas when you want to have a meeting with him, the angle changes and it's a third person angle. And like,
I've never met him, so I don't know.
Yeah. And you're running across this kind of planet, and there's loads of blue balls.
I just knew there was there was a maze involved. I didn't know about the blue balls or anything like that.
If you touch one of the red balls, you can't have a meeting with him. Like you get thrown out of the area.
Do you get any? Are you able to continue?
Well, yeah, but you've got to do another level of his emerald mine. Find some more animals to liberate from his machine and armor, and then find another portal to go through to get another meeting with him. Then you can pitch your idea.
This isn't a way to run a business. It really isn't.
No, I'm really surprised at his. I mean, he's got in trouble with his investors before. For doing these kinds of things on Twitter when he was saying that like he was going to turn all the Green Hill Zone into like some kind of metal filled like dystopia.
Well, he did. Well, like on his parents' farm, he stupid fucking name, Scrap Brain.
Yeah,
he's covered in old cars and bits of washers. It's fucking disgusting. I mean, with that money,
there is one thing.
Clean up.
There is one thing like that I like Elon Musk for, that like I think that in many ways like redeems his whole character. Like he did design that giant casino zone with all the great music in it.
I do love Casino Zone, to be honest.
Yeah,
I do love that. I was thinking about that the other day because like it's similar to Spring Elon Musk's Spring Yard.
Oh yeah.
Which is one of the early ones, but the casino, I think it's the lights.
Yeah,
it's the lights. But then
It's the music too, because it goes down, down, da da down, 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 da da down, da 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 da
Dum dum
da
dum dum.
da da da. Da 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 da. Imagine, Rob. Imagine that you just tuned into a podcast and there was just people humming the casino zone music from Sonic, and they said that was entertainment.
It is
Imagine if
entertainment.
entertainment was democratized in such a way.
Well, this is the thing. I
Yeah,
listened to Elon Musk's Spring Yard album.
yeah,
Why can't we really inanely and poorly reenact it?
it's a good point.
It's all right.
It's true.
Elon Musk. Couldn't make him up, really.
Like this whole Sonic Elon Musk, because I'm just going to reveal the conceit to the audience here. But yeah, this whole Sonic Elon Musk comparison we're doing, yeah. Do you reckon he got the idea for the Hyperloop from those tubes that Sonic had to go through in various zones?
No, I think he got the idea of it from a circle. He
Ah,
thought,
yeah.
what if you could go around in a circle?
It's like that movie, The Hoodsucker Prophecy, where he's just got a picture of a circle and he says, for kids.
Works.
I don't
Circles
know.
work.
It's actually the best Coen Brothers movie, The Hoodsucker Prophecy.
I don't like it.
You don't like it? It's because
No,
it's in black
I
and
like
white,
the
isn't
one
it?
where it's a nervous man.
Ah,
A
yeah.
nervous
You
man
like?
who smokes weed
Yeah, yeah.
with the
I
neighbour.
like it. I like that. I like that Coen Brothers film where there's a series of characters who are quite intelligent. There's a bunch of misunderstandings that cause them to act stupidly.
And then it ends abruptly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's my favorite one. And like you think there might be a moral message to it, but when you really think about the film, there isn't.
There's always someone who speaks strange as well.
Yeah, and a reference to maybe some Jewish mysticism.
Usually at the beginning and end.
Mm.
Coen Brothers.
I
Fargo.
do love it in No Country for Old Men, where who's that big fat bloke? It's not John Candy, it's the other one.
John Belushi.
No, not John Belushi either. It's the guy from Roseanne.
Oh, John Goodman.
John Goodman, John Badman.
John Badman.
Yeah. Like, my favourite bit in any film of all time is in Oberhauer Outbow, where John Goodman's talking to the guy, and he's just talking him round and being charming, and he just snaps a branch off a tree and hits him in the head and robs him.
Classic.
It's like that scene in Jackie Brown, where Samuel L. Jackson convinces a man to get in the boot of his car because he says he's going to a drug meeting and he wants him to jump out and surprise people, and then drives him into a car park, opens the boot of his car, and just shoots him. I love scenes like that, where a character is tricked. That's
Hey, come this
my
way.
favorite
Bang.
movie trope. Watching a character get tricked somehow.
Tricky. Did you watch Dick Tracy?
No,
Good.
there was that short period in the 90s, wasn't there, where we wanted
tried
to
bringing
bring
back.
1930s detectives.
Why did they try and bring him back? All he did was shoot people and wear yellow.
Yeah, yes, I'm the guy with the yellow coat. My main job, shooting criminals.
In the
But I did that.
1930s. And
Well, it's
1930s
they get
only.
rid of it could be any time from like 1936 to 1957. Where Dick Tracy lives, and the Phantom.
The Phantom. He
What's
was
that fucking?
Oh, he was strong as 10 tigers.
And he had the purple jumpsuit to do it.
I want to know who measured that. It always bothered me, that did.
Yeah.
Who measured the strength of a tiger and then equated his to 10?
Well, we know what a horsepower is, yeah, don't we?
Yeah, but
That's the power of
been
one
measured.
horse.
It's
That's
kinda
like how many horse souls they have to put in the engine to make it strong.
how much glue should they use?
Yeah. How many horses they have to sacrifice to make the petrol? 'Cause that's how petrol's made.
Horse souls.
But like, it's horse souls. And I guess then they must have just come up with some kind of mathematical formula to equate horses with tigers.
It must be some kind of old thing, because like I know, like we use metric nowadays. It must be they used to use tigers as a measurement. I don't know.
It's true, like
How hard's
I
that?
heard
It's
my
two
granddad.
tigers.
Yeah,
It's like
like
old money makes no fucking sense to me.
he'd say that like I remember it was like 1 shilling is equal to 5 new pence, but it was like 245 old pence,
Makes
and
no
then
fucking makes no
five
sense.
shillings was 5 shillings was 2.5 tigers, and 2.5 tigers like
You could buy
times three was a pound.
all I knew is you could buy a car with 5 of them.
Yeah,
Get 5
well,
of them, collect them
but
on, collect them.
yeah, but the difficulty at the time was that the higher denomination coins were rare, and it wasn't like modern money where you get like you get
3,000
10
pound
10
note.
pences and that's equal to £1, but that's not how it worked with old money.
None of it would equate ever.
Mm.
And
And some things
this is why they had to invent new money, because it just didn't work.
just having a literally different system of currency for every existing object was insane. It was highly inefficient.
Especially, it was entirely based on the time of day and
Mm.
loads of other trivial factors on how much a pound
Meteorological
was.
conditions, whether the man you were buying it from had a mustache or not.
You could have 500 pence. It could be a pound one day. It could be
Yeah,
50p the next day.
like
It was never consistent.
my grandfather's army pay. One day it would buy him like a Magnum, Magnum ice cream,
Mm-hmm.
and one day it would buy him an entire painting and decorating business. Like you could never tell. He just gave up on it and started just bartering with potatoes eventually.
It's fucking ridiculous. No
Yeah.
wonder they got rid of it.
Mm.
Measurements in hammocks.
It's like the imperial system of measurement. Like we in Britain weigh our like nothing else is weighed in stones. Only
Only
human
people.
weight.
I have noticed though.
Yeah.
Even like yonks ago, they'd be like,
Mm.
saying that,
It never
what's a
it
large
never says
weight in imperial?
100 weight.
Because they say pounds.
Well, there's your imperial ton too, which is 2,400 pounds ish.
Oh my god, that's all these
Yeah, it makes no
arbitrary
fucking
numbers.
sense. And then there's 100 weight, which is there's 100 of them in a ton or something.
I know 100 weight because
Yeah,
I used to pick up concrete flags.
yeah. Like it was. You also used to. That was your order in the sweet shop, wasn't it? You'd go in with with £5,000, and you'd say, "I want half a hundredweight of cola bottles, please."
Fuck cola bottles, cola cubes.
Oh yeah,
I don't like cola bottles.
I love cola bottles, mate.
But that's when you could walk into a job.
Yeah.
Back in them days. I mean, nowadays.
Oh yeah.
How'd you get a job? With a
Well, I get
sign.
most of my jobs I've ever got was from wearing a sandwich board or having a brown cardboard sign that just says what certificates I have mainly. So I say I've got my swimming certificate and I got my key skills maths level 3 and I speak proper good and stuff. And I just stand on cycle paths and places like that.
See, I'd employ you if you had that, right?
Yeah. And that's
I mean,
how
I'm
I
alright
became.
because I've got the degree. I don't know what it is, what it's in, but I've got the degree.
Yeah, like you got it off that protractor, didn't you?
Nah,
Well,
you're just being daft now.
Yeah, that was a silly joke, wasn't it?
It was a silly joke, that was.
Yeah.
Nah, but there was this bloke, Adrian, the other day.
Aye.
And I just thought, I was thinking, like, good on him. He was on this kind of a derelict footpath where you walk dogs. You know what I mean?
Oh, aye, yeah.
It's like it's been tarmacked, but for walking.
Yeah, one of those things that maybe used to be a train line, but now they've turned it into a footpath or cycle.
Yeah, they've got a dog shit bin at the beginning.
Oh, aye, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Usually catch dickheads on small bikes, motorbikes. Anyway, Adrian's there. He's about 50. I think he's about 53. And he's there. And he's a security man.
Mm-hmm.
He's a security man, and he's got all these certificates. He can stand there. He's fat. He's got all the qualifications.
Yeah, you know, that's the main qualification. You got to stand there, look a bit fat, be able to grow a mustache, and you can be a security man.
And fucking hats off to him. He knew exactly where the security firms hire, and it's derelict fucking dog walking paths.
Yeah, they just cycle up and down there all day, just looking for people they can hire. Like sometimes they bring nets, but usually they prefer people to be holding signs so they can identify them.
It's like if you want to be a brekkie or something like that, you just write into the local paper and put up a sign on a flyover, standing there until you get employed.
Well, you know the Dominic Cummings, the Prime Minister's personal advisor. He got that job just by going around on the M25, just knocking on car windows in popular dogging areas. Just knocking on, saying, "Hey, I qualified from Oxbridge.
Well,
I'd like a job in the government, please." And eventually, he just met Boris Johnson that way.
Yeah.
Like you got to get on your bike and look for work. There's no excuses.
But this is the thing. Who the fucking hell wants to go to a dogging site meet Boris Johnson? To be honest.
Well, it's the main place you can see him. Like.
He is most weeknights.
Yeah, and he wears that like fluorescent jacket and them two big, you know what they use to direct aircraft at airports.
Oh yeah. I hear he wears a bike helmet as well for safety.
Oh yeah, because you know he's got his bike helmet, his knee pads, his fluorescent jacket, his two aircraft directing fluorescent handhold things,
and his climbing harness, which is really tight on his crotch.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing, because he's not wearing any trousers, of course. So all of it's just to emphasize where his crotch is and how people can see it in the dark. And he's just pointing it out with the two aircraft directing things, which I wish I knew the name of.
And whatever that's not how. See, this is what I'm on about, right? This is not how you get a job in government. It shouldn't be.
No, I think personally that there should be some kind of qualification exam process rather than just being able to, you know, cut balls really, really well.
No, not having it.
I mean, that was how the spoils system in the American system worked. There's a famous quote from Abraham Lincoln. That's how Hannibal Hamlin, his Secretary of State, got the job. Like, because Abraham Lincoln was a very tall man for the time. He was like 5'11", because everyone in the past was 3'2" or 3'4". He said Hannibal Hamlin had the softest hands, and he cupped my balls like I was the king of England. It was in that Lincoln film with Daniel Day-Lewis.
When he's banging that Indian bloke in that corner shop.
Yeah.
I know which one you mean.
Yeah, it was Lincoln and Mr. Patel, I remember. Because it's a forgotten character, Mr. Patel, from the American Civil War.
And when Abraham Lincoln was a gang leader as well.
Oh yeah, that's a great prequel. Like it's unusual for them to make the prequel before the sequel.
Well, that's called chronological order.
All right.
Yeah, it's not a fucking prequel. It's the beginning of the story of Abraham Lincoln.
These new movies have got me mixed up in the head.
You silly Willy.
When he's just living in New York and throwing knives at people.
And has one eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he grows the eye back.
And they elect him president because of his knife throwing skills. Now he doesn't like Irish.
Exactly. He starts off in the low-level government having sex with Indian men. Works his way up to fucking dastardly New York villain.
Mm-hmm.
And then he becomes Abraham Lincoln.
Mm-hmm. Because all Daniel Day-Lewis films are set in the same cinematic universe.
All in order. It's his life going forward.
He starts out as just a guy in a wheelchair, so it's amazing how the obstacles he overcomes to travel back in time.
Oh my god. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going for a job myself.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking project manager.
Oh, what kind of projects would you like to manage? How do you know that you'd manage a project well?
I don't
And
know.
how you
I just want to try, because project, you could be any, help manage any project. I mean, I've
it's
found the
true.
cul-de-sac where you get employed.
Oh yeah,
I've got my
have you
sign.
found a project manager cul-de-sac?
I found the project manager cul-de-sac. I'm going to sit at the front of it, next to the dog
I've,
shit bin.
I've been going around on my BMX looking for that project management cul-de-sac all the time. I found a management consultant cul-de-sac, but I don't want to do that.
Well,
Like,
it took me a while to find it, because all I could find was like entryways for like basic retail work. But then I
oh
found
yeah,
this cul-de-sac. I got my
oh
sign
nice,
ready and everything.
yeah.
I knew they'd be coming past.
See, I didn't think I made my sign obvious enough because I was wearing my project management boiler suit with my project management patches on it. You know, all the patches they give you when you got
Yeah.
project management qualifications.
Well, this is the thing. I rang the fucking local paper, didn't I? They came down.
Oh,
They came
yeah,
down and had me leaning on things, and kind of lean in a
yeah,
way that you would never actually do naturally, and grin into
yeah.
the camera. That's
Oh
what I
yeah.
was doing. I was
I had one of those,
sign.
but
I was
yeah,
leaning on my sign. It's obvious my sign can't take my weight,
yeah,
but I'm doing it anyway. Just
yeah.
like jauntily leaning on it, smiling. Lad
Mm.
wants a job, get him a job.
Did you have your hat on at a kind of rakish, cocky angle too?
It was it was vertical.
Oh, oh,
It was
that's
literally
good.
vertically on top of my head. Brim, right in the middle,
Mm.
pointing straight up.
And that's how you got the job as the CEO of Serco, isn't it? Managing all their projects, all the private prisons and such like that you manage now.
Well, yeah. You
Mm.
got to put yourself out there. You got to put yourself out there. I
Huh?
mean, how the hell am I ever going to be able to express my career as a man who likes prisons
Yeah, I've
and
tried
the
to get the.
control of humanity within that prison?
Well, I think it's a bit much that you said that we're replacing the bars with just electric now.
Yeah, but it
It's
does
just
look good though, doesn't it? You got to.
it looks
You,
futuristic. It's like that Jean-Claude Van Damme film where you have to go to the future prison and everyone has to fight.
what?
That Jean-Claude Van Damme film where he's pregnant and he goes to a future prison.
Oh, Universal Soldier.
Yeah, that's it.
Ah,
It's like the second best 90s action movie after Demolition Man.
Demolition Man. What a film. What a
It's,
film.
it's
They got everything right.
yeah.
Everything right in that. They think The
What I like
Simpsons
about
can
it is
predict
that
things.
Wesley Snipes is a
Demolition.
real method actor in that movie. You know, like he literally did get frozen for 25 years in order to make that because Wesley
I could
Snipes was
fucking
born in
believe it. I could
1947.
believe it.
Yeah,
I could believe it.
Wesley Snipes is like 94 years old now. He froze himself for 25 years just so he could be forward out to play like he's got another cool name, isn't it? Because it's John Spartan, who's Sylvester Stallone characters,
Yeah.
and I can't remember the name of Wesley Snipes' character.
Captain America. That was the one.
Yeah, it's Captain America.
Captain America. He's been frozen since the war.
Yeah, and he comes out and he says, "No, America's not what I remember it, because I'm Captain America.
And
Like
I'm
we need
having
some,
2 for 1.
we need like I'm gonna unfreeze some of my friends and we're gonna fuck things up. But no East Coast guys. They're too rough. They're too miserable. I just want West Coast guys, in my gang.
With colourful names and jackets.
Yeah, and one of them is Chinese. Like there was always a multi-ethnic gang of people to defeat in 90s action movies. Like it was only really Die Hard when it was all East Germans.
I never got that
Like,
they were East Germans. I always thought they were
mm,
just Germans.
yeah, actually, I think they're just Germans in the first one, and they make them East Germans in Die Hard with a Vengeance, don't they? To give them more of a backstory.
That's a bit fucking much. Especially
Yeah.
Jeremy Irons is not a very good German.
No, like I'll be honest with you though, Rob.
What?
I think that there's been worse Germans in the world than Jeremy Irons.
I don't know. The accent didn't really take me.
Ah,
He, and he was
see,
a
see the
bit
guy.
naughty in the film. You see, he shot a
Yeah.
man He shot a man
Yeah,
dead.
I think German-speaking people have done worse things in history.
No. Don't be daft.
Like the Herero genocide in Namibia of 1912.
That didn't happen. Or did happen. I don't know. I've
How
never
come
heard
no
of
one
it.
denies the Rwandan genocide?
I know someone who does. His dad does.
Oh yeah.
He completely denies it. He's a Welsh
Oh yeah.
fella.
Oh, yeah.
Has
Cool.
no interest in anything else. No other world politics. No other
Yeah.
modern culture. Fucking opinions. But
Mm.
Rwandan genocide. It
Just
happened, and
something.
he's
Yeah.
anything you say, he says you're a Tutsi liar.
Mm. It's strange how Hutu power ideology can just be transmitted like that.
I'm not
Just to
joking.
some.
This guy's real.
Yeah. No. Some guy in the Welsh Valleys. I know. I've read about him. I'm sure.
Well, you're gonna have to read about him now,
Mm.
or it's a fucking fight on your hands. Ooh. How's your jobs going anyway? I mean, I know I've been looking.
Well, yeah. I've been in the UN diplomatic service, like I say.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's all getting a bit much for me. Like, I gotta be there when a truck's unloading all the refugees and asking them about their sex lives and if they've had any unfair sex, if any, like crimes for the UN Sexual Commission at The Hague need to be reported. And to be honest, it's heavy work. I've got to lift them up. I got to check both sides of them. Then I got to put them on the conveyor, and then they get scanned, and the barcodes are put on them, and they get sent
You
off.
have
And
to
it's
put
not
the
my
barcode up.
No. The reader's actually quite high tech, so it doesn't really matter which. I mean, I've got to put them like on the right side, so the barcodes.
That's what I'm on about. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, that's more work than fucking needed, really.
Well, turning them is a bit of a struggle, like
But this is the
especially
thing, it's because they don't fucking store them in a kind of uniform way. They're just
no,
loose.
no, it's because the guys who load the trucks don't care; they just throw them in.
Fucking cowboys.
Yeah, man. And you're dealing with a bunch of Somali or Ukrainian and they're traumatized people. They're often
Syrians.
screaming, but it's my job. Like it's my job as a UN sex inspector. Hey,
Is
what
there
do
a
you do?
checklist
Yeah.
with that?
Oh, I like you got
What's
to
on
do
the
your
checklist?
checklist, otherwise you don't know whether you've done your job right.
What's on the list?
Well, number one, like how tall are they? You got to put that down in imperial and metric.
I get you.
Number two, how much?
How's that? Do you ask them or do you make that judgment?
Well, you can ask them, but very rarely do they speak English.
Oh,
And often, if they do speak English, they say things like, Jesus Christ, man, I'm an engineer or lawyer, and I don't deserve to be treated in this way. I'm not a piece of industrial equipment. And that, you can't make sense of that.
that makes no
That's not what it
fucking
says on the
sense at
form.
all. Fucking word salad.
I know. Lunacy. That's not what it says on the form. That's not what it says on the thing that I got to fill out. That's no help to me at all.
How can you check the list if he's not giving you the tickable fucking phrases?
So I say it louder and slower. How much? He's like, how much of what? Be specific. And I'm like, no, it says it here. I show him
How
the
much?
form. How much?
How much? And get in our oven.
Then it just says why. And then most of the rest of the form is like in Morse code, and I just have to like, I've got like this spanner because I usually stand next to this support girder in the UN warehouse, and I just have to bang that out in Morse code.
It's lucky. Well, it is the most common language nowadays.
Yeah.
Like boop,
It's
boop,
how
boop, 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 boop,
it's
boop. I mean, I'm shit at it, but
yeah.
boop,
No,
boop,
it
boop,
was.
boop, boop. That's all I know.
That's how it started.
I don't even know what it means.
It's just people wanting to text people quickly. When you were sending people, Like when we were 12 in the food court, just sending pictures of like cats vomiting or penises at someone. That's the kind of thing we found funny. And yeah,
this was when we used to post it. By the way, we didn't have phones. We would post the pictures through their letterboxes. Didn't matter who found them.
I remember having to send pictures of my penis to women through carrier pigeon. Like you have to. It was a long and involved process because you'd have to hire an artist, and he'd do a nice picture of your junk in charcoals. Like you'd pay him something like 2 and 6 or 4 and 15, depending on what day it was. And then you go to the pigeon man who lived down at the allotments, and you say to him, like, what's your most sexually suggestive pigeon? One that would really show a girl that like I really like her, and I'm sending her unsolicited charcoal drawings of my penis. And he'd say, oh, you'd want Brian for that. So you'd wrap and it's a heavy thing because like we didn't have paper back then. It was all done on vellum, the skin of a young goat. So you tie around the pigeon.
You didn't waste it. You didn't waste
No.
it.
And the pigeon would struggle to take off. If the girl lived in the next village over, you'd be lucky if he ever arrived. He could get eaten by a peregrine falcon on the way.
Did you get many replies with that?
Not many. One time, a girl she sent me like her girdle on a stagecoach.
Ooh.
Like she'd given a man a bottle of whiskey, and since he was coming to my town with a stagecoach anyway, and he said, I'll just bring that girdle to him. But it didn't really go anywhere from there because I didn't really understand what a girdle was at the time.
Okay then. Anyway,
yeah,
really poorly segued.
There's no such thing as a bad segue.
Well, our segues are fantastic. It's like a train hitting a wall.
Like it's like we segue in the same way that Ayrton Senna segued from life to death.
Very quickly,
unexpectedly, bravely, in many ways,
and entertainingly.
Yeah. The same way that Michael Schumacher likes to ski. Yeah.
Anyway, this is the end of the show.
Oh, we're at the end now.
Thank you for listening, but you probably aren't listening.
No one's listening, man.
No one ever listens.
We're not even recording this.
It's all a memory.
Like you thought of me in a dream, and I imagined you when I woke up. It's a ontological nightmare. We don't know what the fuck's happening.
I don't really care.
But now it's time to go home.
Time to go home, children. Time to get into your bed. Get into your sleeping bag. Get under the covers. Get underneath the curtains. And
put your earmuffs on. Don't listen to it. Don't look outside.
Balaclava.
If you hear it for 1 second, that's you gone.
Fucking ridiculous. Anyway, we'd like to thank you from the bottom of Adam's heart, not mine.
No, he doesn't have a heart. He's a machine man.
Okay, so I've been with Dr. Populous, and he's been...
Professor No Fun at all.
And we'll see you next time.
Suck it.